How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at something very, very exciting. This is Vampiress Carmilla's second issue for May 2021. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is a black and white anthology-style comics magazine. If you're familiar with the magazine The Creeps, this was made by the same people, and if you like that, I definitely recommend picking this up as well to get more fun, scary stories. That being said, let's first take a look at this cover. I really, really love this cover. Out of both the Creeps and Carmilla's covers so far, this is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Just classic, gothic, yet also gruesome, and it really looks like something that could have been an Italian movie poster. Like, you know, this could have easily been the poster for a Fulci movie with this skeleton character right here. This extreme bright red light silhouetting Annabelle here. You know, red lights everyone talks about, Argento and Suspiria. But some really cool surrealist lighting. And she's got the axe, and you see what she did with that axe. She killed all these people and their bodies are on the ground. So good, gory, yet classical, Fulci Italian-styled cover. I really, really like this cover. So let's go ahead and open up the magazine. First, we get the inner cover, which, if you remember last time, was a word from Carmilla, and now we get the first installment of Carmilla's scary tale. She's talking about the Amazons, the classic Greek warrior woman group, and they're depicted, because it's a horror story, very gruesomely. You know, you see them as warriors here, then you see them breaking this guy's legs, and then you get a little bit of a flash forward. So, pretty cool take on the story there, very, very gruesome. Then we flip to the inner, the table of contents, and if you want to look here, you can see all the people that brought you the magazine. And up first, we have Carmilla's Blood Letters, so a letters page, since it's the second issue. Check-in with the Countess herself. And then the stories. We got 6 additional stories, and that is Dark Web, House of Wax, which is the one from the cover. Damnation Romance, The Waves Catch, The Casting Couch, and Haunt-arama. And you get the little boxes showing you a little tease for each story there. So let's go ahead and flip it open and look at the stories. But I will say, in regards to the stories, no major spoilers. I do want to say my piece on a few plot points, and I want you guys to have a basic understanding what these stories are about. But don't worry, I won't give you any major spoilers. But before the stories, actually, we have the double spread letters page. You get a nice little picture of Vampiress Carmilla, and she's holding a letter. You get a little article about the success of the first magazine, and then you see Carmilla responding to something, and her little a little picture of her head pops up, which I do really like. So after that, we flip into the check-in, and I do like that she's more than, you know, just the magazine's host. She has her own story, and we get to keep up with what's going on here. It appears there's not enough food in the castle, so the monsters are wandering into the nearby villages and wreaking havoc. So she tries to call the devil in 2 different ways there, and he's been busy. He was apparently at a political rally, which that makes sense. And he eventually shows up, and they figure out what to do. But a fun little check-in with her, and keeps her as a character with her own story, more than just being a host. We move into the first full story here, and we get this story called Dark Web. And you see this guy. He's a criminal, and this is actually told in the second person, I believe it is, where it opens with, "You are Johnny Hong, petty crook and 2-time loser." So, yeah, this is telling you a story of what you do, and it's saying, you're this guy. So kind of an odd framing mechanism. You don't see it that often, but hey, it's interesting. But he sees this beautiful woman there, and these crooks are trying to take this box. He goes to stop them, but not before the box falls on the ground and a bunch of rats pop out, and that causes the criminals to leave, knowing that there's no treasure, just a box of rats. So it's an interesting opening. The girl is very beautiful, so he tries to flirt with her, and she takes him back to her store, and you see that she is obsessed with these spiders here. They're a certain type of a very poisonous spider, and she has her whole shop full of spider merchandise. But she says even though these are valuable, the real valuable stuff is in the back, and she won't show him that stuff. But of course it's curious, and it becomes this sort of a what's behind the door mystery. And he, of course, isn't gonna just leave the back room with all the treasures alone. So you get a good taste of what's behind the door, and it's very cool. You know, it takes place in Chinatown, so you get some influence from Asian movies, and she at the end has a cool costume that you might see in some weird B movie. It's really fun though. But overall, a cool what's behind the door mystery, and it's a horror magazine. You know it's gonna be something pretty dark and creepy there. Up next, this is the cover story, House of Wax, and you see Carmilla there doing the hosting segment, and she's grinding her axe. But it talks about this girl who, like Lizzie Borden, was an axe murderess. But unlike Lizzie Borden, they know 100% that she did it. And it's way more than just two people, as you can see all these people on the stairs below her. But the legend with her is after she killed these people, she mysteriously vanished, and this family was known to have a fortune in jewels, but the jewels were never recovered either. So we flash forward in time, and this guy is telling the story. It's a haunted house tour, but this lady who's a medium sticks behind and kind of stays in the haunted house after hours, which is a great setup, a haunted house after hours. And you see she's a medium, so she wants to talk to the ghost of Annabelle and get her to say, tell her where the jewels are so she can make a fortune. And like I said, man, this is a cool classic haunted house story. You know, the setting, things lit by candles, really cool if you're into haunted house stuff. But then when the ghost shows up, you get some pretty good art. There's the ghost following her, and I do like, you see her crazy hair is part of her motif, but then she's floating, so the hair motif is repeated down here as kind of these wisp, and I really do like the style, the art, the style of this ghost. So really fun story. Moving right along, we have the Damnation Romance, and that's with this girl. She likes watching vampire romance movies. She's never had a lover of her own, and once a vampire, and the actual vampire takes notice of her. But of course, this really does play on the concept of, people like those vampire romance movies. Twilight's obviously the most famous, but vampires are bad dudes, so she's spent so long wanting this romance, and turns out not as good as she thought it might be. You see, she's starting to turn, so the guy's like, hey, you need blood, right? I brought a cute little puppy for you to eat. And she's like, I don't want to eat a cute little puppy. But she's starting to become more and more like him, and he's not everything she wanted to be. And, next thing you know, they're going out killing together, and you get this cool scene in front of Carmilla's nightclub, which is a fun little Easter egg as they're hunting down more people of their own, and she's, becoming a darker and darker person. Overall, a really fun take on the vampire romance subgenre, going, hey, yeah, maybe a romance with the vampire isn't the best idea, and to see someone who's innocent start to go down the dark path and become a scary vampire. Up next, the story The Waves Catch, and in the hosting segment, you get Carmilla with her surfboard there, and I do like she's always, the hosting segments are integrated. But you get this lady who's a beautiful surfer, and she is a really, really good surfer, and she goes, I should win this, surf girl competition, but she's always coming in second to Dora Connors there, and she's got the gold medal, and she is, super jealous and wants to win, so she actually gets in a fight with her boyfriend who says, oh, it's okay, and you can see her emotions are not properly in check, so she goes to see this sort of shady underground guy to see about eliminating her rival there, and it's, one of those classic tales of greed and jealousy that you might see in, Tales from the Crypt, and it has, of course, a good twist on the story at the end where you see, oh, it's not just crime, something more will come of it, and overall, a really fun, plus the fun Californian beach surfing adventure, is the setting there, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's story 4. We actually only have 2 more left, and we get this one dealing with a heady topic. This is The Casting Couch, and you see it's about this girl who was a local small-town beauty, and she wants to make it in Hollywood, but of course there's a bunch of creeps in Hollywood, and as we quite unfortunately found out, it's more than just a rumor. There are actually some very bad people in Hollywood, but in order to get the job, she has to go to the casting couch there, and pretty dark and serious subject matter. She talks to her friend, and she says, oh, if this couch can talk, it's seen some pretty bad and dangerous things. So, if the couch could talk, this is gonna go in a revenge way. So a dark and heady subject matter. They did kind of give it a cartoony art, I think, so it, wouldn't, be quite as dark and gruesome, but definitely a very heady story there, and a revenge story, Anyway, moving along to the last one, this is Haunt-arama, and you see a Vampiress Carmilla there drinking her Type O, but this guy, he's on a date, and they're going to the carnival, and they get tickets to the Haunt-arama. They go in their little cart there, and the guy goes out to lunch. You flip it open to the next page, and you see that this dark ride has some very convincing animatronics, and he's like, oh, they're just animatronics, and convinces her to get off the ride when a mysterious figure shows up, and this is probably going to not be, just a simple dark ride. I won't spoil it for you, but there is more to the figures, and this creepy carnival guy is gonna show them what the dark ride's secrets are. So pretty cool. I do like carnival stuff. Obviously sent me into memories of Toby Hooper's Funhouse, but a cool dark ride story. So that's the end of Vampiress Carmilla's second issue there. We got 6 stories, and they're all pretty good. I really did like House of Wax and You know, the carnival one was always fun, and all the stories are really, really cool in here. So 6 short horror stories. They're all pretty good, and man, I think it's probably worth buying just for this really cool cover alone. But anyway, that's the end of the second issue. A really solid issue with some pretty good high points, so I definitely recommend it if you're fans of this stuff. If you've been reading The Creeps, if you picked up Carmilla's first issue, I definitely say stick with it. The book is staying steady and pretty good, and I only have high hopes for it in the future. So really great to be getting a second anthology horror comics magazine, and I definitely recommend it. So yeah, go ahead and pick this up. Issue 2's good just like the first one, and I hope they keep this pace up, and I hope we get more cool stories soon, because these are really fun, classic stuff, you know. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You're really helping the channel out. If you want to see more, I do a comic a week on here, and I've also reviewed several issues of The Creeps as well as the previous issue of Vampiress Carmilla, so I definitely recommend checking those out, and I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom where you can find them. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. I do like 95% horror on here, so if you like that, I definitely recommend sticking around and finding more stuff to watch. Relevant playlist at the bottom. Have a good day.